What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Cosmos Garage. In today's episode, we're going to be starting the engine rebuild part 3 of the 302 that I'm building for my 1964 Fairlane. And let me just say, I got some amazing stuff that came in the mail today. So I'm going to quit the jibber jabbing. I'm going to show y'all what I got in the mail. So if you're not familiar with the channel, or if you haven't seen any of the recent videos, I'm building a 302 for my 1964 Fairlane 500. And I'm not going to be pushing the absolute roof of the power, like no 900 or 1,000 horsepower by any means, but I am shooting for around 375. I'd like to, if I could get a 400, a low 400 to the crank, I'd be satisfied, but we'll see. I'm thinking more mid threes, but hopefully let's just cross our fingers that we can get there. So I'm running stock crank that I got polished. It's 10 under, and I'm going with this Keith Black 20 over pistons because I got a board at 20 over, so it's a 4 inch and 20 thousandths of, so it's 4 and 20 thousandths of an inch bore, stock stroke. So first thing I got in the mail are these awesome Keith Black pistons. They're the, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna make a fool of myself saying this word, but they're the Hypereutectic. I don't know how you say it, but it's basically it's the blend. It's a blend between aluminum, cast aluminum, and forged aluminum. So these are actually the high performance pistons back in the day before forged was really a thing. So the Keith Black 20 over, they have they're the flat top with the 2 valve reliefs. So they're going to fit perfect with the AFR heads I plan on running. And they're the full floating. I think they can be, yeah, they're full floating because they have a little ring that goes in there. So full floating style, super high quality, absolutely top notch. Second thing I got was the connecting rods. I was going to run stock connecting rods until I was trying to press the wrist pin out. I bent one, and yeah, I can't really say much about that. I'm an idiot. I should have been more careful, but to be fair, those pistons, those connecting rods had a lot of mileage on them, so it doesn't hurt to replace them. And the bushings were kind of wore out. You can kind of tell there's some scoring in them. So got these Speedmaster steel forged connecting rods with the bronze bushings. So the bottom end is going to be nice and tight, and it's going to be it's going to be a pretty cool motor for sure. Definitely going to be able, if I wanted to push some power NA, it'll be capable of it. As far as piston rings goes, I'm just going to use these Seal Power piston rings. I can't really remember the measurements of them. I want to say it was like 2 of them were like 5 16ths or something like that. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but here's part number. If you have 302 and you want to see them, we'll focus. Come on, focus. All right, come on. There's the part number. And I'll make sure to put all the part number to the piston rings, the connecting rods, and the pistons in the description if y'all are interested. So as far as the rings go, they are just like these kind of, I call them snake rings. I'm sure there's an actual name for them, but they literally kind of peel apart like that. So focus, come on. You have to put one aside in there. I don't want to stretch them out, it's kind of hard. But basically, you see there's one end. Come on, focus. Because I'm going to focus, I'm going to show you the installation paper that came with the Keith Black pistons. So that's what the piston ring kind of looks like. They're not the old style snap rings. Like I said, I call them snake rings, but these are the locking rings that go on each side of the wrist pin, so it'll hold it in place, and the wrist pin won't slide around or fall out. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to lubricate the wrist pin. This is the lubricant we're using on the 390 and this. It's just some O'Reilly stuff, so.
Just want to dab a little bit right there, like so. Then just all over. Stop. Okay. It's a good one. Oh, that's awkward. Got that out. Alright, so you're going to want to put one end. You have to go at a right angle. I guess this is me struggling. But come on. Come on. You put too much lube on it. No, I did not. It gets stuck. I'll stop the video. Or I'll stop it. Alright, we're still going. This is all the good stuff. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to do a right angle. So there's a correct angle supposed to be doing that. It's not get stuck like that. Maybe actually. Alright, let's try this one. Oh, yeah. Alright, so once you get through, don't go all the way through. Just gonna stop right there. Then apply more oil because it's all over your hand. Please struggled. So it's down a little bit right there. All over. Then take a connecting rod. And kind of place it in the middle. I put some lid on the inside of your connecting rod. Are you professional? You didn't do something already. Yes, I did. You did not. You weren't there when I did it. I was standing right there because you broke the piston ring too. Alright, so do that. And boom. Like so.
All right, as far as the ring goes, it says to kind of put one side in. Oh, this is going to be difficult. All right, hang on, let me get the first one in. Okay, so what we've concluded so far is that these type of rings are stupid. Absolutely dumb. It took us like an hour just to get 2 pistons and rods assembled. I scraped my thumb because the screwdriver slipped and went right on my thumb. And to be honest, it is a 2 to 3 hand job. So I'm going to kind of explain what you're going to do. Because I don't know if I can show you with... It's super frustrating. So as you see, got this one done. Got that one done. So what you're going to do is you're basically... Or here. I'll show you this one. The wrist pin's out. So you're going to do one side first without the wrist pin, and you're basically just you're gonna want to compress this like pretty far out, so there's a little bit of a gap between them. You kind of want to stretch it out, and basically just walk it in, and it's gonna take trial and error. Just walk it into this groove right here, okay? Then once you get this one set, slide the wrist pin in with the connecting rod, flip it over on side, then do that side, and so that wrist pin will slide and hit this ring, and you have the perfect gap. That's the best way we have figured out to do it. So if anyone else has a better way to do this, please drop it in the comments, because this was super frustrating. So I'm going to hurry up and knock all these out real quick. Got all the pistons put together, and man, they look good. Now to put the piston rings on. And there's the instructions right here on which way to go. The compression ring, the oil ring, and the top ring. So let's get to work. So first we're doing the third ring, or the bottom one, which is the compression ring. The oil ring. That's what I said. It just auto-corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Scratch up my new piston. All right, got all the oil rings on.
Hang on, so you got...
No, I told you it's
Yeah.
this one, that one, not that.
Yes, I realize that now.
Okay. So now doing the second ring, which is the middle one, which I believe. Yeah, scrape that piston.
Scrape it good.
Yeah, you didn't pay for it, so you don't care, right?
I don't.
Nice.
Sometimes you'll break these rings, but if you'll take... And I've seen some YouTube videos on this. If you'll take and line up where they broke and then put some Gorilla Glue on there, good to go. Mint. No problems at all.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. This should be safe to run. We highly recommend it, right?
I mean, it's just optional to have them, you know. This is that easy expand ring.
Weight reduction.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where up today's video, and nah, I'm just kidding. But we are gonna install the other 7, and I'll just order a new set. Actually, my dad ordered a new set since he broke it. Anyway, yeah, so I'll install the other 7. Then once the other one comes in, or the new set comes in, I'll install the 8th off camera, whatever. But the video is still gonna continue. All right, back in the shop. Now, before I install the pistons, I am gonna clean the cylinder walls real quick. Just wipe it down with a rag and some brake clean just to get all the dust off it and dirt particles. All right, got the connecting rod cap off. I mean, I gotta say, this was pretty interesting because these things were on tight, super, super tight. So finally got them off. Then has little indentions right here to sit right in there. Ignore those are for the 390. But yeah, now, so bearings wise, I went with some King bearings, King 10 under bearings since my crank is 10 under. So before installing it, you are going to want to lube the journals. And you can just use the same lubricant you used for all the rest of the motor. So I'm gonna do that real quick. As far as the connecting rod bearings go, there's gonna be a little indentation right there that you're going to match on the actual connecting rod and in the cap right there. So all the bearings have little indentions, and these connecting rods, the indentions were on the same side, so they were both on this side. So got to remember that. Now, as far as piston orientation, Keith Black provides paper of whatever motor you have and the orientation. So for Ford small block, we're gonna be looking right here, which basically just means the valve reliefs are gonna be pointed upwards, because that's where the valves are gonna hit in the heads that I'm gonna run, and most Ford heads. So let's get to installing them. Now the piston's in, you wanna put your cap on with the bearing on it, make sure it's on straight, then just kind of get it snug. Where's the ratchet? I'm gonna switch sockets. So now we're just gonna repeat the process 7 more times, not 8 since he broke one of my rings. What a poop face. But I will note, I've had to take this out like 3 times. When you tap the piston in, make sure the bearing that's in the connecting rod does not spin off, because that will happen. So just going slowly, check the bearing, going slowly, check the bearing, just make sure the bearing sits on the journal. And yeah. All right, I got the first, I guess got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 in. Just missing 7 and 8 because I don't want to put one of them in and have a loop journal. I'll just wait till I get rings to the other one. So yeah, pretty good. Let's see how easy she spins. Oh, which way? This way, yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm not going to go ahead and torque the connecting rods just because I want to wait to get the other 2 in, because there's a pattern and a sequence you have to go in. But what I did do is I did install the dowel pins for the heads. Just tap them in so I can set the head gasket on there and see what it looks like. And man, looks pretty good. Can't wait to get the heads on, and it's going to look super, super cool. So this is a Felpro Ford Performance head gasket. I don't remember the part number, but AFR recommends this head gasket if you run the Enforcer heads. So that's what I plan on running, is the 185 Enforcer heads, and this is the head gasket they recommended. So I just went ahead and got it. Gotta say, looks pretty good. So that is going to wrap up today's video. Got a lot of stuff done on the 302. Got the pistons in, pistons assembled with connecting rods, rod bearings, head gasket fitted, dowel pins in. So can't complain. Am kind of disappointed about the piston rings, but you know, stuff happens. Not everything goes as smoothly, right? So like I did mention, I am going to get the 185 AFR heads, the Enforcers. So there is a small valve and a big valve option. I'm going to run the big valve, which is a 2.02 intake valve and a 1.6 exhaust valve. Also going to be running Scorpion 1.6 ratio rockers and Ford Performance roller lifters. I'm not going to go crazy the roller lifters. I mean, they're just regular Ford Performance one. Everyone runs them, so I want to run them. Push rods, I am going to have to get an adjustable one because I don't really know the exact length. It should be pretty close to what stock is, but I'm just going to, since it's at the machine shop, they kind of clean the deck a little bit. I am going to measure because I'd rather cut once, or sorry, I'd rather measure twice, cut once. So, but hope you all enjoyed today's video. I know it wasn't super long. Thank y'all for watching. If you like Ford content, old school content, motor rebuild, stuff like that, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Really do appreciate all the support recently, and almost 500 subscribers, so super happy. Hopefully we can get 1,000 by the end of the year. That would mean a lot to me. So if you could subscribe, that'd mean the world. So see you in the next video. Peace out. But before y'all go, let me show you a little sneak peek of the next video. All right, now for real, peace out. See you in the next video.